Wilson's full name is actually Wilson Percival Higsbury. I probably pronounced that wrong and I don't care. Bunnymen for some reason don't see werepigs as monsters and will not attack them. Burning a drying rack makes the meat be done instantly, which I'd say is a little bit more than just drying it out, but you know what, whatever. Wynonna does not need to kill Fuel Weaver or Celestial Champion to gain their affinity skills. When inspecting the science machine as Wilson, he makes a nod to its old research point mechanic by saying, it breaks things down into their scientific components. The plus 15 favorite food buff is completely useless on Wes, as his favorite food, the fresh fruit crepe, already refills his hunger to full anyways. There's a pretty simple way to burn flint as well as cut stone. You can do this by making turf out of them and then lighting the turf on fire. If you play as Wigfrid, you can tell what note a shell bell will play by inspecting it. Mush gnomes are considered as a type of tree guard in the game's code, despite being a lunar mutated mushroom. Gunpowder, Slurtle Slime, Slurtles, Snurtles, and Slurtle Mounds can trigger earthquakes in the caves when exploding. If it doesn't end up triggering an earthquake, at the very least it's reducing the time before the next one. The character with the least amount of character-specific craftables is Willow, only being able to craft 2 items. This is closely followed by Maxwell with 3 and Warley with 4. In the Eye for an Eye crossover, the composer swapped orchestras to create each boss's music. Here, have a listen. Wigfrid's Elding Spear actually increases in durability when charged, going from 150 hits to 200 hits before breaking. Speaking of the Elding Spear, its electricity damage actually functions a bit differently to how it normally does. Normally, electrical damage is calculated with a 1.5 times damage boost to dry targets and a 2.5 times boost to wet targets. This is around a 66.66 repeating percent increase in damage to wet targets. But if we compare this to how the Elding Spear damage works, it doesn't line up at all. Wilson deals 59.5 damage on a dry target, and on a wet target he deals 89.25 damage, which is only a 50% increase in damage when he should be dealing roughly 99.166 repeating. A very well known, yet very useless fact is that Deerclops will smile after destroying 5 structures in-game. Weber, the Indigestible, makes a slight callback to his title when examining Deerclops, stating that he might be able to digest me. It's just... man, that is weird. Both Berger and Moose Goose share the honor of being the mobs with the highest health in Don't Starve Reign of Giants, with them both having 3,000 hit points. With the fact that the Ancient Guardian spawns in a labyrinth-like place, and the fact that its name in the game files is Minotaur, there's heavy reason to believe that it's referencing the story of Theseus and the Minotaur from Greek mythology. Some of the ancient herald summons seem to be based off of the 10 plagues of Egypt in the Book of Exodus. Ancient spirits represent death, nightmare creatures represent darkness, dragoon eggs represent the thunderstorm of hail and fire, and the poison dart frogs represent the plague of frogs. Maxwell's quote for the ant lion, "Have you no pride?" has a double meaning, with it also being a pun on the word pride meaning a group of lions. There are 2 beta designs for Armored Berger, with the first one looking much like a regular Berger with some icy fists, and the second one looking very similar to the one that we have in game, just without the lit up eyes. Bee Queen was the second ever boss to be given its own unique fight theme, with the first being Toadstool. Her first theme later became dragonflies, and she was promptly given a new one. There's an unused Crab King death animation within the game files where he is seen genuinely dying rather than just falling into the water. I personally wish they used the first one, because I hate this boss. Due to Deerclops losing its eye when dying, Crystal Deerclops' eye socket doesn't actually have an eye left inside, and is instead replaced with the bright shade Gestalt, which is how it is brought back to life. Also, wow, it's got one hell of a terrible loot table, goodness. Dragonflies' method of burning up flammable objects to consume their ashes is pretty similar to how real flies act, by spitting out digestive juices and consuming the pre-digested food.
And lastly,
out of all of Frostjaw's possible names, there are a few which seem to reference something. The name Meg is a reference to the Megalodon shark. The name Hammerhead is a clear reference to the hammerhead shark family. And lastly, the name Bruce is a reference to the shark of the same name from the movie Finding Nemo.
and that's all the useless facts for today. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. Apologies for the microphone quality. I have no idea what is going on. But for this video specifically, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I edited the audio first and I think that might have messed it up. So my bad on that part. I recorded parts 2 and 3 at the same time, so if there's any audio glitches in 2, then they're probably gonna be in 3, which kind of sucks. I'm hoping to get part 3 out probably next week, or like 2 weeks from now, but I'm not completely sure. My voice, I was listening to the recordings, my voice kind of sounds dead, and I apologize for that, but you know, what can you do? I was recording at like 3 in the morning, as I always do. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!